Yeah. Well, we may be doing some slightly more challenging things with our stick pull today. For those that feel that that is a wise thing for them to do, knowing that we've gotten better at making sure that this is a useful prop that won't be injury causing, if we do decide to do some of these more challenging things. But I am really, really glad to see all of you, and I'd like to get started. Does anybody have anything more you'd like to say before we get started? Okay, here we go. Start your breathing nice and full and complete. Good. Get in touch with things, body, and even where you are in your mind, maybe any emotions. Keep settling in for a few more breaths. And then let's go with shoulder shrugs up towards your ears. Squeeze them up there. Exhale as you let them all go. And again. Letting go even more on our last few. Excellent. And again. All right, shake them on out here and get into some gentle rolling. Shoulder rolls forward. Taking deeper, fuller breaths. See how things are feeling all the way through your shoulders, the upper back, your rib cage. Maybe getting the arms come in a little bit bigger. I'd slow it down if you are going to do this, though. Very good. And then we'll take a pause, going subtly the other direction. So feel it out, taking some deep, full breaths as you do. And getting into bigger movements, slow motion movements, if that feels good. Gotta let each shoulder let you know how things are feeling and all this different direction and range of motion. Good. Few more if it feels right for you. And then let's relax, balancing out the shoulders, shaking out through the arms and through the hands. Get your feet ready to move, using the surface beneath you there to lift your toes. Ground those toes, lift your heels back and forth. And then while we do that, why don't we warm up our hands and our fingers too? So make fists when you lift your toes, stretch them out when you lift your heels. Make fists when you lift your toes, fists stretch out when you lift your heels, back and forth like that a few more times. That's it. Okay, then lift your toes, spread out all your fingers, palms facing forward as much as you can. Then, as you lower your toes all the way down into the floor, you can kind of stretch out through your wrists and your fingers until your hands can rest on your knees or towards your knees out there in front of you. Sit up nice and tall, take another nice full breath. Slide your hands slowly up to the tops of your thighs, kind of gently bring your elbows back as far as they can and then slide your hands back towards your knees. Do that a few more times slowly and try to squeeze your shoulder blades even together a little bit back there when you slide your hands up your thighs. Kind of draw your elbows back, squeeze your shoulder blades together a couple more times. And then this last one, bring the hands up the thighs, squeeze back just a little bit gently so you're sitting up nice and tall. And again, shake the arms on out beside you. Hands on the sides of the chair, keep sitting up nice and tall. And let's start to lean and sway gently from side to side. Scooching yourself a little further forward on the seat of your chair if you can, or if you need to, because you know we're going to want to have more room behind us at some point here. That's it. Very good. And then let's rebalance both hips, both sits bones, sitting upright, nice and tall. Back down to the feet. Let's do alternate heel toe lifts. And let's do alternate arm curls. Trying to find rhythm and some kind of coordination as best you can. Pretty novel kind of movement probably for most of us, so you might have to concentrate. That's it. Okay, now let's plant again from the heels all the way down through the toes, sitting upright, nice and tall. Let's inhale, and as you exhale, tuck your chin down and in. Inhale, lengthen, maybe lift that chin, looking up. Exhaling, tuck your chin down and in. Inhale, lift, look up, try lifting your eyebrows as well. So you're waking up some facial muscles. In fact, on this next one, let's smile big as you lift your chin and look up. And then make kissy lips as you tuck your chin down. And then big smile and big eyes looking up. Kissy lips looking down. One more time. Big wide mouth and eyes open. Exhale, tuck your chin, kissy lips. And then inhale through the length of your spine, up and out through the crown of your head. You can just let your face kind of relax, but hopefully you feel just a little bit more in touch with it. Yeah? Okay, good. Now that you're a little further forward on the seat of your chair, let's sit upright. First, let's take 3 deep belly breaths. Really try to fill the whole abdominal area here with your inhalation and really let it flow out as fully as possible on your exhalation. Good. Now do feel some tone and some strength now coming all the way through the deep core. Keep breathing as we rock slowly back and forth. Slowly and finding the support that you need, not only internally, but maybe with your hands on your thighs or on the chair. Otherwise, maybe you can use them to make it a little bit more challenging, extending and bending to curl in as you would rock up and back to any degree. Try to feel like you are as symmetrical in your lean back as much as you can. Try not to lean or shift off to one side or the other if you can help it. That's it. If you want a little bit more challenge, you can hold the next backward lean. Make sure you're still breathing. Try to keep your spine up as long and lengthened as it can be. Full breaths. Then you can come on upright once again, sitting tall, full, complete breaths. All right, pelvic tilts. Place your hands here so you can detect your pelvis, the pelvic crests. That will be the most obvious place of movement through space as you go through this movement. But you probably are feeling it maybe a bit more in the lumbar region of your back and spine. You might also be feeling a little bit in the hips. Now breathing, inhale as you tilt forward, exhale as you tilt back. Great. And I've added in the head tilt, as you can see. You're welcome to join me in that if you like. Excellent. Couple more. And then finally, elongating up through your spine, really reaching up and out through the crown of your head, sitting upright nice and tall. Maybe again, even kind of giving yourself a little bit of a boost, a little chair dip with the hands alongside on your chair somewhere so you can just kind of feel like you're upright, tall, just a little bit more there. That's it. Very good. Now keep that tallness. Lift your arms away from the chair just a little bit to start as we rotate. Gently rotate, drifting your arms just around, or if it feels good for your shoulders, let's reach them out wide. Maybe you need to bend the elbows as you do this. Keep broad across your chest and shoulders, and keep your rotations going. That's right. Looking around the direction that you're turning towards, opening up the eyes, maybe also mindful blinking to make sure that those eyes are comfortably moist and activated the way that we want them to be for the health and well-being of your eyes. One more rotation around to each side. And then squaring off, if it reaches out comfortably with those arms, we'll take a nice inhalation. Exhale with an ah. Feel that vocal cord activation. Return to your natural flow of breath, and let's do swallow intentionally. And just kind of activate that area just that much more, bringing more awareness to it, more strength and effectiveness to it too. Okay, let's get back into our lower body. You can do alternate heel lifts. Alternate heel lifts with the opposite arm curls. Or if you're feeling ready, you can get right on into marching steps. You might need to concentrate to get those arms coordinated with it. If you need to use your arms for support, please do. And let's keep on going for another minute or so, as long as you don't go into exhaustion. We want to get feeling of warmed up and really, really aware of our feet. Uh, the deep core strengthening that helps this movement happen. The arm movements coordinated with the legs, if at all possible. And feel free to go faster or separate your feet out a little bit wider or stomp your feet down harder. Anything goes as we try to go for at least another 15 seconds or so. You can always slow it down, or you can always stop sooner if you need to. You could also keep going further if you want to, but I'm gonna be getting close. I'm feeling the fatigue now, so I'm gonna go a little bit further, a little bit longer. Really feeling in touch with my legs, feeling those, low back and feet for sure, deep core. So I'm going to take a pause at this point. You can join me whenever you feel ready, planting both feet, sitting upright, nice and tall. Now remember those hands sliding up the tops of the thighs that we did before and then extending towards the knees. So we're going to add that into our pelvic tilt back, pelvic tilt forward, sliding those hands up, and really, again, try to bring your elbows back and slightly squeeze your shoulder blades together. So once you feel like you've got a comfortable range of motion that you can bring all these different articulations uh, through your body, through your spine, let's move with your breath. Exhaling as you reach forward and tilt your pelvis back. Inhale as you come up the thighs with your hands, tilting your pelvis forward. And then let's do some vocalizing as we do a few more of these. So we'll start with the ooh as you do one tilt, and then ah as you do the other tilt. Ooh, really make the facial movement. Ah, a few more times. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. One more time. Ooh. Ah, neutral pelvis when you can. Really lengthen up through your spine. And again, you can shake those arms on out beside you. Let's get our hands ready. We're going to have them working for us for some things when we get our stick prop in here. So rubbing them together, maybe giving some massage, some squeeze, some support, helping them get as lengthened out as they can be so that eventually, if possible, let's line up into prayer position, all the fingers and the thumbs coming in together, right up towards the ceiling, and then we'll point them off to the right and off to the left to any degree that feels good. Good. And how about we add in a vocalization with this? We're going to go heave, ho, heave, ho, heave, ho. One more time. Heave, ho. Point those fingers straight up towards the ceiling. Bring them in close to your heart center. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and robin's breath, reaching forward on you as you exhale. Inhale, opening wide, looking up, smile. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, bring them back to the heart. One more time, exhaling and inhale. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, open wide, look up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, hands back to heart center, long spine. As you exhale, you can shake those arms on out beside you. Remember your deep core, because we already did these movements here. Kind of get you strong and stable, in touch with that proprioceptive system that tells you where your body is in space. Also, we've done the front and backward leaning. So utilize those good abilities and body awareness when you are ready to grab your stick. Good. Okay, let's bring it right on around in front for now. Do test out, please, how your stick and the floor surface beneath you work together, or not. So if you can get it to ground and feel pretty stable there, great. If it's easy to slip away or something, then we might want to work on getting either a rubber stopper or something on the bottom of that, or a sticky mat or something that will help you not let that slippy thing happen. And then from here, we're going to plant the stick, sit up tall, reach forward, lean forward to any degree, and then bring it in close as you rock back. Make sure you're breathing, feeling strong in your foundation, which of course includes your deep core. Yes, a few more times. Good. And then sitting upright, nice and tall once again. Now, we'll start with it pretty much in between the feet, but for some of us, we may be taking the stick out a little bit further in front of the knees so that we could do an even wider handoff from right to left. Maybe even giving it a little bit of toss in midair, giving it a catch. Yes, good. Follow it with your eye gaze. Here's another one we could do. Heave, ho, heave, ho, heave, ho. One more time. Heave, ho. Bring that stick up to parallel or perpendicular to the floor, I guess this would be, sitting upright nice and tall. Let's stir the brew. Lift that stick up, even if it's still in close to you, whatever wide of a swirling circle that you can stir your pot of whatever brew you might be wanting to make. And then pause. Let's go the other direction. Good. Few more times around this way. And then bring it on back to that resting position, sitting upright, nice and tall. Let's bring the stick to a parallel position to the floor. Bring it onto your thighs. Now, hopefully similar to what we were doing in our warm-up, we were sliding the hands all the way towards the knees and then sliding them up to the tops of the thighs, drawing the elbows back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. See if you can do something similar to that by rolling the stick up and down the tops of your thighs. Yeah, also kind of rolling across your hands as best you can there too. One more time. Bringing it up at least to the middle of the thighs, maybe even up a little bit higher to kind of help you feel like you're sitting up tall, drawing those shoulders a little bit back. Yes, good. And then from here, let's just lift this stick up to maybe about chest level or so for here. And, elbows are more or less pointed down, although you can take them out wider at some point. What we are going to do is rotate, just like we did before in the warm-up, right around your central channel, turning the direction that you're rotating towards. Now, another option that some of you might like, if your shoulders agree, is to slide your hands out longer towards the ends of the stick, maybe. You can be overhand or underhand, whatever feels better. And similar kind of rotation. I'm leaving mine, it's about shoulder level, I guess, is where I'm at here. But there is no reason why, if the shoulders feel okay with it, I'm going to go overhand for this one. Maybe you can take that stick up above your head. Slow and controlled turns, few more times. Good, and then squaring off when you're ready, lower that stick back on down to your thighs. And again, maybe some rolling up and down. Good. All right, and then just kind of let the stick rest there. You can maybe wherever it's comfortable, because I want you to do double shoulder rolls, not really moving your hands much on this one here. You're really just kind of getting the shoulders to move forward, up and back and down a few times. Good. Now for this next one, you're going to have the stick in pretty close to you. You could try having it down on the lap, or maybe lifting it up to about your navel area here, because I want us to do, again, either alternate heel lifts or slow marching steps. So we got to find a way that the stick won't get in the way of lifting our knees here to any degree. And then we can start to do the stick side to side, a little diagonal here. If you need to slow your pace down, you go right ahead. Some of you might be even speeding it up. That's it. Marching, few more times. Excellent job. Okay, plant. Stick to your lap, sitting upright nice and tall. Again, let's do the pelvic tilts, the hands and the stick reaching towards your knees. And as you tilt back, tilting forward, bring the stick up to the tops of your thighs, squeeze the shoulder blades together a bit. There, excellent. Few more times. Wonderful. Okay, back to your upright seated position. Let's try to step our feet out wider and just kind of as wide as is comfortable with your knees easily pointing towards the direction that your toes are pointing towards. And then again, let's put the end of the stick down. Okay, very good. So we already did this kind of fun tossing to one side or the other. Good. Now, maybe a little bit more of a challenge. You can lift that stick up a little bit off the floor. Take it into your right hand, reach out to the right with it, back to center, transfer to your left hand, reach out that direction. Now, you don't have to go far. We're using our deep core strength at this point. But then the next time you transfer it into your right hand, let's extend it out over there anywhere. You can just try planting it. Hopefully, it's not going to slip away on you there. So plant it, sit upright nice and tall, and just kind of lean that direction a little bit more. You can keep it a short lever if that's better for you here. That's it. Good. And then coming back upright, nice and tall, pick up your stick, bring it to your center, transfer to your left hand, bring it out there, any angle or any direction. Some may be more out in there in front, maybe some are more like right at the side. Decide what's gonna be best for you, and then lengthen and lean that direction. Good. And then coming back to center. Building upon that, if that all felt pretty good to you, transfer the stick into your right hand again. Now this time I am gonna bring it a little bit more directly over to my right there and make sure that that end is well planted. Because as we do our lean off to the right this time, I want you to experiment either long lever through the arm or short lever of any degree of reach upward with your left arm shoulder, and just be here for a few more breaths and explore what angles, what kind of reaches. Maybe again, you want to be supported in some way or really, protective of the shoulder area so you could keep it down low and or short lever of some sort. Take a few more breaths any way this feels good to you. Good. And then inhale, coming up nice and tall. Bring the stick around to forward. Now, before we go to the other side, if you can, bring that stick back to parallel just so we have somewhere easy to rest it. And let's go back to lining up our palms and fingers, pointing the fingers back and forth a few times. And then from there, let's try a few starfish push-ups. Really working the extension through the fingers. That we're going more for the stretch than anything else here. Why? Because we're doing lots of gripping around the stick. So we want to counter that movement and that ability with re-extension, nice and gentle and slow there. Good. Of course, we'll do a few more of those. But for now, let's bring it back to the stick into our left hand off to the left. I'm going to bring mine just a little bit more out there to the left. As you take your lean over towards the left to any degree at any angle you choose here, what's going to be best. And then start to explore any degree of reach with your right arm up, angle, down, in, any way. Try to feel through this stretch for yourself and just decide what feels best to you as you breathe and try to be here for just a little bit longer. Good. When you feel complete on that side, let's come on up long and lengthen through the spine. Pick up the stick, again, bring it back to parallel. We can even bring our feet in a little bit more to parallel as well. Parallel to each other, that is. The stick is parallel to the floor. So we've got two different paralleling here going on. And back to our hands. You also might be feeling inspired to massage, squeeze, or support your hands or wrists in different ways. But if you could eventually come back to some starfish push-ups. Very good. Wonderful. Okay. And then we'll release that, shake it out, grab a hold of your stick, shoulders width apart overhand. Know where your feet are as well. I'd like it so that your feet are more in front of you than in close to your chair. So at least line your ankles up right below your knees. There you go. Sit upright nice and tall. Adding into the rocking motion, if that feels okay for you, we will be curling the stick in close as you rock back, reaching it out or down at an angle as you come forward. Really work within your pain-free range of motion here, because adding in this arm movement, the slight bit of weight that we've added in here, will make your body work harder, and we don't want to strain anything. And many of us have back issues that we want to continue to honor and not aggravate. A few more times. Excellent. Nice rhythmic movement. Wonderful. Sitting upright nice and tall. Take a breather. Full, complete breaths. Yeah, and again, you might address your hands, your fingers. And after you feel like you have gotten back in touch with your hands, your fingers, are they ready to grab your water bottle or whatever you have to drink close by? If you can, let's get hydrated. Ah, hits the spot. And it's a good time to feel grateful for mindful swallowing, helping you bring that in and passing it through exactly where it's supposed to go. Yes. Okay. So next, I'd like to get us a little bit more into through our mindful transition series, and using the stick if at all possible. But if you feel like it's getting in your way, awkward, doesn't feel safe to you, go with our usual ways of going through our mindful transition series. Now, I'm not going to put the block in for myself here, but you are certainly welcome to. As we go along, we may be coming to a standing position, and there may be some alternate things that you might decide to do when we come to standing, but really be wise about how you're feeling in your body, how the floor is beneath you, and how the stick is able to support you or not, and always feel free to come back down to the chair, okay? So we already did our rocking motion, rocking with the stick and the pole, kind of rowing here, yes? But then from there, this is where it gets a little tricky if you do have the stick in your hands. So you might put it down on the floor there out in front of you. Again, if it's a sticky relationship there between your stick and your floor surface, that's what you need. And then when you're ready with a strong deep core engagement, coming into a little bit of a squat out of your chair, and then slow coming back on down. Maybe even changing how your hands are positioned on your stick after doing it a few times one way, then switch it around. You can hold your squat longer if you feel like you want that extra strengthening. And always trying to return back down to your chair, slow and controlled. Excellent job, everyone. Then, if you want, you might take a break, take a little rest, maybe work through your hands and your fingers and roll the stick up and down your thighs, and especially since we were doing those squats, it might feel quite good, a little bit of a massage for the thigh muscles here, and get your hands to lengthen out. But if that all felt good so far and you're not feeling lightheaded, dizzy, or like you're on an unstable surface, then maybe you can take that from the squat all the way to a stand and slow and controlled sit back down. Finding any range of motion that works for you. Good. Keep going, take your time, and remember you can always stay seated. Maybe not coming to a full standing position is going to be better for you. Take your time with it. Then we'll go ahead and sit back down to the chair slowly. We're going to take a little bit of a resting break because if you want to go to the next step in this series here with your stick, we might stay standing and do a little bit more balance, kind of balance work, a little coordination work in a standing position. So I would like you to, be able to use your stick for support, but you might also stand next to your chair, put one hand on your chair, something like that as well, because we may be doing some fairly complex movements if you choose to come and do the standing. If you want to stay seated, just try to simulate the movements like, in your chair kind of thing, all right? Good. Okay, so find your stick. If you're going to come to stand, go through the mindful transition steps. Mindful transition all the way through. Then assess when you get here. How are you feeling in the standing position? At any point in time, you can return to your chair. So be smart about it. And if you are feeling good standing, again, you might want to go and stand beside your chair also, so you can have like one hand on your chair, or at least know it's there to grab if you need it. I don't have enough room to stand beside my chair, so I'm going to stay here, and hopefully I won't need that extra balancing prop, but I want everybody to know that they do. Feet out a little bit wider apart now. Keep the end of that stick in the floor, bend a little bit into your right knee and a little bit into your left knee. Try to make sure that your knee is bending in the same direction that your toes are facing towards. So looking down might help you here to know that you're tracking in the best way for your knee alignment. That's it, good. You may even want to hold one of these side leans, really work that leg strength. Come back through center, then lean and bend into the other side, holding a little mini lunge here. And back to center, that's good. Bring your feet a little bit more underneath you and marching step, marching step. And when you feel like it's a good time, switch the position of your hands with your stick here too. Good. Now, with this marching step, maybe you can step out with your right, step out with your left, step in with your right, step in with your left. Out, out, in, out, out, in, out, out, in. Last one. In. Plant your feet, stand tall. Place your stick into your right hand, bring it over to your right there. Good. Keep both feet planted, both legs strong and rooted, and strong deep core here. And use that stick to kind of lean into a little bit over there. We're not leaning that way so much as curving our body, opening it up for a stretch over here on the left side. Maybe you'll also like to reach your left arm up or over in any way that feels good. Keep rooted down through both legs and feet. Take another full breath. Good. Lengthening back up with an inhalation. Exhaling, slowly lower that left arm down. Standing tall. Full, complete breaths. Good. Transfer over to your left hand, over to the left with your stick. Keep rooting down, standing tall, full, complete breaths. And again, not leaning so much towards the left, but curving your body over that direction to any degree that feels good. It's got to feel good. And you got to feel safe and secure with this support here. Maybe then any reach that feels good to you through your right arm, right shoulder, right side body. Taking deep, full breaths will really contribute to a big stretch. Good. When you're ready, you'll inhale, lengthening upward. Exhale, lowering down. Beautiful job. Okay, back to the stick here, right in front of you in a good place that's not going to slip away, and back to marching steps. Okay, this time we're going to step out with the left. Left out, right out, in. Left out, right out, in. Out, out, in. Out, out, in. Good. Beautiful. Last one. Out, out, In and in. Plant your feet. Stand tall. Full, complete breaths. Good. Okay, let's do a little balance challenge now. So again, hand stick off to your right. You might want to stand off to the right of your chair so you have the other hand on another sturdy support prop. We're going to have our right leg as our standing leg. So standing tall, rooting down through that right leg of yours and getting a little bit of a lift of your left foot up off the floor. Maybe you can take it higher. Just know that any way that you move your left leg is going to change your center of balance and center of gravity. So your body will have to readjust, self correct, which is what we want to be doing in a safe way. We want to let your body allowing itself to self correct. It's like a little bit in the ankle, a little bit at the hip, strong thighs, hopefully strong deep core, feeling that through. Maybe for a little extra challenge, if balance is really coming good today, maybe you can hover your stick off the floor for a moment and then put it back down. You can always put your foot back down too if you need to. Standing tall. Let's see, maybe before we do the same thing on the other side, let's just do alternate heel lifts. You can bring the stick in front of you too if you want to. Alternate heel lifts, so stretching through those toes, moving through the ankle. That's it. And then whenever you feel ready, we can try a balance challenge standing on your left leg. So have your hand, a good sturdy support prop, maybe even two. That left leg rooting down, strong throughout, all the way up into your deep core. Maybe just hovering that right foot up a little bit. You can kind of test it out and always put it back down anytime you need to. One side might be a little less willing to really find a balance point than the other. So just keep on working with it. It's meant to be a challenge. It's not meant to be easy peasy. And if it is easy peasy, then I want you to make it more challenging by changing the position of your right leg. Go back a little bit behind you, up in front, out to the side. All of that's going to make you have to correct. Self-corrections. We need that. Practice, 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 so it'll be there for you when you need it the most. Good. And then whenever you feel complete with your balance challenge on this side, of course, you can put your feet back on down, standing tall, rooting equally through both legs, both feet. You can bring that stick up in the front for you here too. All right, one more thing I think I have in mind for us, and this could be done easily in the chair. We've done this in the chair a number of times, so feel free to do this because this is a challenging pose. The stick is going to go out to the right, and well, maybe you should bring the stick forward in front of you first and step your feet out as wide apart as you comfortably can. Having a no slip surface beneath your feet is really, really important for this one here, but do feel free to take a seat and simulate what I'm doing that way. Okay, so now let's bend in a little bit to each knee here so you can kind of feel grounded and rooted and strong in each side while you have the stick here in a centered position. Good. And this could be something worth working on in itself here because the next one's going to be holding it. The right knee is going to bend right towards where your right toes are pointing towards. Your left leg stays lengthened, and you might even change the position of that foot so that there's no joints here that are feeling unhappy, uncomfortable. You're rooting, you're grounding. Then you can decide how much over towards the right you want to bring your stick. And yeah, you can keep both hands on it. Maybe that will help you feel brave enough to lunge just a little bit more deeply into that right knee. Or maybe you could open it out a little bit, reaching your left arm away from you or upward towards the ceiling. Challenging lunging pose here. Warrior two variations. Strong deep core, inner thighs, pelvic floor, all on for you here. Coming up and out of the lunge, bringing the stick back to a centered position. You can kind of change how your feet are positioned. You may even want to step in and do some marching steps or alternate heel lifts or something in between because we're going to hold it on the other side, and do give yourself permission to take a seat on the chair at any point in time. Breathing, integrating, taking all the time you need. Eventually, again, we'll separate those feet pretty wide. And you could do a little bend into each knee, but then pretty quickly, I want you to lunge into your left knee, taking it slow. So getting the foot pointed in the same direction that their knee is going in there. And then any adjustments with your right leg foot so that all the joints and everything feel happy, strong, and secure there. Good. Standing up tall. That's really the reason why I like to have the stick in pretty close so it can kind of help you stay upright like this, and maybe a few more little lunging movements here toward your left. Good. And then holding that lunge, maybe moving your stick that direction just a little bit more. Maybe you can hold there with both your hands on the stick, or if it's comfortable for you, you can reach the arm the other way, maybe reaching up towards the ceiling. Lots going on here. Full, complete breaths. Coming out sooner if you need to. You guys look great from here. Yeah, coming out when you feel ready, back to more of a balanced position from your center, stepping your feet back in together. Maybe you want to do some marching steps. Maybe you want to do some alternate heel lifts. It's all good any way it is. Okay, so next you have the option to either take a seat back in your chair, doing some kind of cooling deep stretches, or we can do this moving to the floor if that's what you would like to do. So you choose if you want to use the stick or not for this transition, like coming back to your chair, or you might be ready to put your stick off to the side where it will be out of the way. So anything that works here, please, until you find your way either back into your chair or moving to the floor. There we go. All right, taking your time. Now, as you move to the floor, you might pause on hands and knees for a moment just to give your hands and fingers a little gentle stretch using the floor. If you're staying in the chair, maybe you can bring the hands together and do a little bit of this side to side kind of thing. Try to spread your fingers out as wide as they can be. Good. And then from there, take your movements slowly off and on to a seated position, and then you can start to recline all the way down to the floor as that feels right for you. Please take your time. And I'm going to stay in the seated position, but cueing for whether you're here or down on the floor, whatever you feel is best for you today. So after all that we have done here today, I think it's going to feel really good to stretch out through the body when you can, be as well supported as you can, extending through one side of the body, arm and leg, or both sides at the same time, whatever feels best. Taking full, complete breaths. Very good. Stay there as long as you like, as long as you need to balance out things. And then what would feel good after that? Maybe hugging your right knee into your chest and maybe extending your left leg out all the way. Circling around through your right foot or ankle, slowly in one direction, slowly in the other direction. Deep, full breaths. Good. When you feel ready, switching over, other side. Hug your left knee in. Extend your right leg out. Hugging in, and begin to circle that left foot at the ankle, slowly in one direction, and slowly in the other direction. Good. When you feel complete on that side, go ahead and lower both feet, planting both feet on the floor with your knees bent. If you're sitting in the chair, let's sit upright, nice and tall. If you're on the floor, just lengthen out through your spine as best you can. Have those feet placed parallel with each other pretty symmetrically, and just make any little adjustments, because next you're going to either do a half butterfly pose with your right knee out to the right there, or a figure four pose. So anywhere in between, Experiment with what's going to feel good as you open out of your right hip, and with the half butterfly pose, you can keep your right knee, or no, right foot close to your left knee, and even extend your left leg out. That's more for you guys in the reclined position. For those of us in the chair, figure four probably is going to work best. But let's be here for a full minute, breathing and exploring the best way for you to find an easy, gentle stretch that feels really good. So continuing to explore, but when you feel you found a good position, good place, then hold it there and breathe. Holding a bit longer if you can here. Make the most of the body position that you have placed yourself in to get the best stretch for 10 more seconds. All right, if you feel complete on that side, bring it in, plant your right foot down, lengthen through the spine, make any little adjustments, and then choose. What do you want to do with the left hip opening out? Is it going to be a half butterfly pose for those of you guys on the floor, or a figure four pose? That could be for us in the chair, or for those of you on the floor, what feels best for you at your left hip. And hopefully you may be getting some inner thigh stretch, especially those of you in the butterfly position. So finding your way to the best position and supporting yourself, and then let's take the next full minute to explore, to breathe, and find the best stretch for you on this side. Find it so interesting, the different things that can show up from one side to the other side. Sometimes you'll know exactly why that is, and other times it's like, huh, hadn't noticed that before. But now you're sensing something. Could be a little extra tightness on one side or the other. It might be that one side enjoys a different angle as you move out from the hip. And it has been about a minute. So if you feel complete on this side for yourself, you can place your left foot back on down. And again, finding some position that really balances out your body here, any adjustments there. And then let's take it into some kind of a forward fold. So seated forward fold in the chair, we know what that is. For those of you on the floor, you could try either hugging one knee at a time in, or if possible, try hugging both knees in towards your chest. See if you can relax as much as you can as you hug in. Or you could make it a little bit dynamic by rocking slightly from side to side. But eventually, though, I really would like you to be able to really relax in your body and take deep, full breaths. And again, I'd like to hold this for at least a full minute. So settle in a way that feels good and breathe. Holding longer if everything is feeling okay. You can always make little micro movements or adjust yourself if that's needed. And it's been a full minute. You're so welcome to stay longer if you would like. Coming out of it, let's make sure we engage through the deep core and kind of unfold your body, coming into a long length of spine and planting your feet back on down any way that's comfortable for you. Taking the next full minute to do any movements, any stretches that would feel so good to you in your unique body. What would feel good? What haven't we done yet today that would feel great? Or do you want to come back to something that you know is really good for you? Anything goes as long as it feels good. Let your breath be a part of whatever you're doing. Maybe it can even help you with internal massage, those deep belly breaths, making the position that you're in even more yummy. Make it be yummy. And sometime over the next minute or so, you can start to make your way into your position for relaxation and join in when you're ready.
It is time for conscious relaxation. A time to integrate and absorb, and a time to heal. Just by simply relaxing. Be as comfortable as you can be. And with eyes gently open or closed, feel your whole body sinking in just a bit more into all the supportive surfaces beneath. Feel your body breathing. Maybe a few deeper inhalations and long, drawn-out exhalations to help you relax just a little bit more. It feels so good to relax. But it isn't always easy. You may need to turn your attention to places in the body that are resistant to wanting to relax right now. And here, try lovingly inviting these parts to soften, to let go, to relax. Let's all take our attention now to the head. Let the back of the skull sink into the supportive elements beneath it just a bit more. And with that, a sense that your entire scalp is relaxing and softening more. You might feel your jaw softening just a bit more, soothing out any tension in the mouth, even the tongue. The cheeks feel quite relaxed, and your ears soft, relaxed. Your nose and the eyes. The eyelids feel a little more soft and relaxed. The inner corners and the outer corners. So relaxed, at ease. Eyebrows and forehead smooth and relaxed. All along the hairline and into the base of the skull, down through the neck. The sides of the neck, the front of the neck, throughout the throat, even more soft, open, and relaxed. Breath is flowing through you so effortlessly, almost as if the body is drifting on gentle waves. The upper shoulders, the upper back, soothed and relaxed. Relaxation spreads down through the arms, throughout the hands, into each and every finger, soothed, soft, and relaxed. The chest, the heart, and the lungs, very relaxed, at ease. The entire rib cage, all the way around through the back, very relaxed. Your upper belly, your lower belly, and all the internal organs throughout, soothed and relaxed. The middle and lower back, very well supported, soft and relaxed. The hips and throughout the pelvis, soothed, relaxed, at ease. All of the gluteals, free of tension. All the areas of the thighs and the knees, quite relaxed, soft. Throughout the lower legs and the ankles and the feet. Deep, soothing relaxation. The body just drifts. Effortlessly, easily. You absorb and assimilate and heal. gentle, easy return brings awareness back, feeling the breath flowing effortlessly through the body. The body itself so well supported and relaxed, and choosing with delight to reconnect once again to your body. The feet, the toes and ankles, finding some gentle movements, awakening. The lower legs, the thighs and the hips, coming up through the torso. You might feel your breath expanding a bit more throughout the rib cage. Energy and awareness throughout the arms, into your hands, and each finger finding some gentle movements and awakening. Throughout the shoulders up into the neck, there might be some gentle movements the head might take here. And the face, sensing the muscles and some gentle expressions coming into the face. Maybe just a simple smile, an internal grin, feeling those special muscles that draw the face into a smile just for you. Perhaps at some point a yawn, a bigger stretch of the jaw, the cheeks, mouth, and eventually awakening the eyes with intentional blinking. Slowly at first, perhaps quickening the blinking response as you look about the space around you once again. And here, some bigger stretches. The whole body might like to move and stretch, continuing to delight in this reconnection. You back into your body, renewed and refreshed, and wherever your day may take you, you will be ready. Eventually, you'll feel ready to make that transition that will bring your body to an upright seated position. Taking your time in the process and giving yourself support. When you are fully upright, comfortable, using the supports that the body would like to really lengthen up through the spine, and take a few expansive breaths into the chest, your heart center. And if there's a closing gesture for the hands, perhaps bringing them together at the heart in a deep felt sense of gratitude, we'll bring this practice to a close for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and namaste.